One of the first things I really wanted to review was this Mclaren Mp1. Now, don't get it twisted. This is definitely not a Lego set. It is an off-brand Technic set. Well, it's Technic pieces, but it's not licensed or marketed by Lego. Price-wise, it's about $150. I got it on a great deal for $129. Do be careful, though. There is a lot of companies out there that are trying to rip you off, market it as a real Lego, and sell it around where the Bugatti and the real Porsche Lego go for about $300 to $350. So from my experience, you should not be paying over $150 for this. Again, I got it on deal for $130. If you're willing to wait anywhere from a month to 2 to 3 months for shipping, you can directly order it from the manufacturer or some overseas company for roughly about 50 or 60 bucks. Bad part about that, you have to wait a long time, and you usually have to order several units. Now, as far as getting into this, it is definitely a great bang for the buck. You get about 3,300 pieces for the $130, $150 value. Equivalently, the Porsche or the Bugatti by Lego is same piece count, and it's about $300 to $350. My personal opinion, this was created out of the Porsche. Somebody must have bought the legitimate Porsche set and then just made it out of the pieces that the Porsche is made of, because if you look at the piece count and just the colors in general, it looks almost exactly the same as far as the piece count goes and the colors. Now, the company who makes it, there's a bunch of off-brand companies like, I don't know what this, X-Tech or Happy Builds or Lepin, that they either pay the creator who made it, or they just copy, steal the idea, and sell it as their own. Now, just to give you a little bit of a size comparison to this does run up to the Bugatti and the Porsche size. Now, if we take just a regular brick build car such as the Ferrari F40 right here, as you can see, it definitely dwarfs it in size. You can probably fit multiple different ones on top of it. As you can see, it's much larger than it. Now, let's actually compare the off-brand pieces to some Lego pieces. This is the brand new, or was brand new a few months ago, ZR1 Corvette. As you can see, this car also dwarfs the size of it. This is actually almost the size of the brick build Ferrari, if I'm not mistaken. But number one thing we can see is a difference in color. The Lego set, you could see it literally shines right off the light right there. As the Mclaren, it's a little bit more dull, more flat, which it's not a big deal at the end of the day, but that's just to give you a quality comparison in between the off-brand Technic and branded Technic. Also, the ZR1 Corvette's about $50 for about 500 to 600 pieces, as the Mclaren is $120 to $150 for literally 6 times that amount. So you're definitely getting a great bang for the buck as far as the pieces go. Now, don't get it twisted. The color is not just the difference. Technic pins, Technic beams, everything is much more harder, which, yes, it does hold more together, but it's more difficult to get it apart. And, well, the instructions are definitely not as clear. As you can see, this right here is the front. Happy Build, X-Tech. And as you can see, the instructions are not the clearest. You build this basically in about 13 steps, but you're building large pieces and then connecting them at the end. It's definitely not as straightforward as Lego is. Doesn't show you every single step and every single page. It basically combines multiple steps, anywhere from maybe a half to a whole dozen, and then you have to sort of figure it out on your own. As you can see, this is 300 pieces with a total of 200 pages. Now, take for example the new car transporter set, which is a Lego branded item. 2,480 pieces, and you get 550 pages. That's 1,000 pieces less than this McLaren, but an additional 350 pages of instructions. So it's definitely much, much easier, much more fun, much more clearer to build a Technic set. Now, this is fully automized. It moves, running engine, everything. You could add motors if you want. It's got suicide doors. There's a little hinge right here you roll and the suicide doors open. Even comes with the little luggage right there that the real Lego sets come with. So they definitely did an exact copy of how Lego sets come, except just in a different style. Why did I buy it? Personally, because Lego just does not create enough car sets in this size, or just in general. Though I have seen that they are expanding their car market. They're making the Speed Champion sets larger now, and just in general, they're expanding more into the automotive. And also, after buying Bricklink, they want to find out what adult fans of Legos like, and it seems that we do really like cars, so hopefully in the future they'll be coming out with more vehicles. But in this case, until they are, I basically own almost all of the Lego brick and Technic sets, and honestly, I just want to build more, and Lego does not offer that. So in this case, I go off-brand. Not only do I save some money, but also it's a different style. Most Lego collectors are usually very, very anal when it comes to buying off-brand set. To me, honestly, I'm not one of those people. For me, I like the cars. It is a challenge to build. You definitely learn a lot of new creative ways to build, because whoever did build this, as you can see, a lot of the lines Lego is not traditionally used to building in their direction. So you definitely learn a thing or two. It definitely takes some creativity to finish it, because as I said, the instructions are not as clear as Lego. But overall, you get a great bang for your buck if you do like building Technic and you do like vehicles. I would definitely say if you could get this below $150, it's definitely a great buy. Do be sure to be careful about this right here. On the cover, it will show you that there's lights that go like that. As you can see, that's completely photoshopped. And also, that piece of plastic spoiler right there, well, those pieces simply don't bend that way. I don't know if there's a way you can, but that's completely 100% photoshopped. So for me, when I show you the back, you'll see that I completely didn't even put that spoiler or whatever that thing is supposed to be, just because it actually messes with this wing that actually goes up and down through a control in the front. So do be very cautious. Don't be surprised why mine doesn't look like that. Well, they completely photoshopped. Again, this is off-brand. They do not put the care and the level of just the care that Lego puts into their products. All their products are absolutely perfect when it comes to building them. You have no problems at all. Each individual step is completely shown, and that's why a Lego set that has 1,000 pieces less than this has a whole 300 pages more than this instruction. But again, if you have built Technic sets in the past and you do know how different gears can go and where exactly the axle goes, and just simple little things where Lego shows you in the zoom-in version in these instructions, it just shows you and you sort of just have to know how it goes, because they're trying to save on paper, they're trying to save on just printing, they're trying to make every single little penny that they can on this. So do be cautious about that. Let me go ahead and show you the back, because as far as the front, it looks very, very nice. I customized my own hood. I did not like the hood that came with it. On the photo, it looks pretty nice, but I don't know, in 3D, I did not really like it. But where this car does shine out is in the rear. So in the rear, it definitely looks very, very nice. It almost resembles the real McLaren. As you can see, those red plastic lights right there, they almost bend absolutely perfect like the real McLaren lights do. Also, the wing right there at the top is retractable. It goes up and down, not a whole lot, but about maybe a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch. I keep it up because it gives it a more aggressive stance. Also, those little blue lines you see to the left and right, that's just personally something I added with extra parts that I had from other Legos that I've had. Just it gives it a little bit more of an aggressive look. I added it across the back as well. well. As you can see, the rear end does look very, very nice, very aggressive. I got just the regular flat black rims on the left, and it does come with chrome hubcaps, so I just put those chrome hubcaps on the right, because if you think about it, you never actually see two profiles of a car anyways, and I've actually seen that on real life cars, and I do think it's a great idea. But again, as you can see here, a lot of really crazy techniques were used to build this, and at the end of the day, it definitely looks very, very nice, and I do gotta say, I like the rear a little bit more than the front. Overall, bang for the buck is great. It does look great. As far as the build, out of a 10 rating, I definitely give it a 7 or maybe even a 7.5, because it does consider you have to come up with a lot of your own creativity to finish it. As far as the style goes, I will definitely give it a 9 out of 10, because this is so different. It's completely different style of building. Again, it's not Lego creating it, so it's could be somebody in the garage or somebody just who had the Porsche set, took it apart and rebuilt this. So the style is pretty crazy. But remember, every bang for a buck comes with a cost. And so the cost in this case is, number one, the directions. They're not as clear as a Lego. But okay, we save about 50%, if not 60 to 70% of a normal Lego price. Because remember, if this was Lego branded, you're looking roughly into the 300 to 400 range. Another thing we suffer is the quality. The pins, the beams, it is so much more difficult to put them in. Lego just goes in like butter, super smooth, super nice, super no problem. If you need to take it apart, there's no problem at all. This, I mean, it takes force. Over the 15 to 18 hours it took me to build this, my thumbs were completely ripped open. I mean, not that bad, but they stung, they were swollen. It is hard. Another thing, the back right here, you can't really bolt it down, though you can't really tell at all because it just sits there and relaxes all day. Maybe there is a way you can bolt it down. I rather not, because then you can't expose the engine and actually look the engine going back and forth. I'm not even going to take it off to show you that, because you see the spoiler right here, it gets in the way, and it is a pain in the ass to take it off and put it back on. But again, I leave it the way it is. I think it looks really nice the way that it is. I dedicated about 15 to 18 hours of building it. Have to be a little bit creative to actually get it up and going and seeing the way that it is now. But again, if you enjoy building and you enjoy vehicles, this is definitely a really good build. Again, not for beginners. If you've never done a Technic set in the past, don't do it. But overall, I definitely give it about a C to C plus on the build, and well, the style you can decide for yourself, because I personally do like it just because it's something different, it's something unique, and as I said, Lego just does not offer that amount of vehicles, which I do hope that they're gonna expand in the future. It does look like it, as far as the Speed Champions sets are coming, and they have been releasing more auto sets very slowly. And since buying Bricklink, they are trying to find out what adult fans of Legos like, and it seems that we all love vehicles. So Lego, I do hope that in the future you will be creating more vehicle sets, especially in this size, because in this size it's definitely a wild factor. It's definitely very nice. It catches your eye. But at the same time, I am a diehard Lego fan and collector, but I'm not one of those that is going to be like, oh, it's not Lego branded, I'm not going to own it. This is not Lego. This is disgrace. No, I mean, it sucks. Like Lepin, where they do copy Lego, you know, completely. But again, this is not a copycat set, whether it was made originally out of Lego parts or not. It must have been. At the end of the day, it is an original mock from somebody who did create it, and this company just happened to either buy it for them or just flat out steal it and, you know, produce it to the mass market, which there's no problem with that, because people like us, we get to enjoy it, or at least people like me. Because as I said, regardless, even if Lego does recreate more vehicles, I will be buying them. But at the same time, I save a lot of money with buying this, and it looks different. And not a lot of people have this in their collection, especially if they're Lego and Technic collectors, because, oh, it's not official Lego. Well, no, it's not. And again, you pay the price by paying a price less, if you get what I mean. Pay less, but you get more problems. You don't get the same quality. But at the end of the day, it looks very nice. So whether you collect Lego or you don't, or you think you're the best Lego, I would definitely say try this out, because again, for beginners, they will get lost midway in, if not sooner. It does have all the Lego features as the shocks front and back, though I wouldn't recommend hitting the back because then it presses on the disconnected hatch part. But if you truly think you're the best in building, then definitely give it a try, because this will definitely give you somewhat of a headache. But at the same time, it does look very, very realistic. And as I said, I would definitely give it a easy 7 out of 10 for the build. And as far as looks, an easy 9 out of 10, because you gotta admit, branded or off-branded, it does look very, very nice. Thank you so much for watching, and that's my review on this off-brand McLaren Mp1.